Okay. I My name is not important right now. I would like to give a couple of shout outs too. Naim Kosher Pizza in Brooklyn, New York. Um, Dave's Pizza in Lawrence, Traditions in Lawrence, um, and Father Mittman's Home Security Systems. And I like to also give a personal shout out to Rocky Trachtenberg. Okay, today I am speaking with Jake Polanski. Um, and where did you grow up?
So up until I was 12 years old, I grew up in Comac in Long Island, and then I moved to Woodmere. And then ever since I've been in the five towns, Woodmere and Cedarhurst.
Where did you go for elementary school?
Elementary school. So once I moved to the five towns, I went to South Shore.
Uh,
Yeah. And before that, I was in Hebrew Academy in Suffolk County. I'm not sure. I don't think it's still around anymore. There weren't many, as I was growing up there, there were more like less and less Jews living in the area. So it was like, getting smaller.
yeah. Where did you go for high school?
High school, I went to South Shore May. I think when I was there, it was like becoming May. So now it's official. I think it's only known as May, right? I think so.
Yeah, man.
So that's where I went to high school. Loved it.
Where where did you go for base matric or did you go to college?
So I spent a year in Eretz Yisrael. I went to Or Yerushalayim. And then after that, I went to Queens College.
Okay. Um, what did you do after college?
Okay, so in college, I got married, and also had a baby. Pretty short, yeah. And then I worked also during college. I worked in Kahal, and
What
and
is
Kahal is they basically work with children with special needs in order to mainstream them. Um, they as far as I know, still now, I think they're around now still. They have like classrooms in different yeshivas and yeah, and I loved it. It was great. It was a great start to my career.
um are you still singing or you gave that up?
That's I still sing. It's my favorite thing to do. Um life got really busy, and of course, like the thing that makes you the least amount of money is the thing usually that that goes first with things. And
Yeah.
having a family to support, I have to do whatever brings in the income. Um,
Yeah.
but I have like a whole album waiting to be mixed and finished. I'm just waiting for the right time. It's been a while since I've released any music, so I'm just waiting, first of all, till I have time to really focus on it and give it all of my love and attention. And also for a time where I feel like it would be the right time to do it, to start releasing again. But I never will stop. And for me, it's a very emotional thing for me because I'm so attached to music, and
Yeah.
it's what I it's really it's who I am. It's in my soul. And certain times, I'll be honest, certain times I get angry because I can't do it as much. Or I get sad or brokenhearted. And sometimes I say like, Hashem, you're forcing me not to do it right now. And fine, I won't do it anymore. But I but I can't. It's just a reaction, and I'll never stop. I really will never stop. And I'm hoping for a time where I can be more comfortable, to be able to financially more comfortable in order to focus a lot more of my energy on it and do it. I have like a other I have Yaakov Chesed is the main thing. Also I have like in the works, I've had in the works.
Great you brought that up. How do
Yeah.
you get the name Yaakov Chesed?
Okay. So Yaakov Chesed is my name actually. And I know Chesed is a strange name. People aren't familiar with it. But actually I recently actually I saw that there was a Chabad Chassid named Chesed. Um, so I'm not the only one. And my grandfather is the one who came up with the idea of naming me Chesed. So like in the beginning of the band, since we were like a band,
Oh,
we kept the fact that it was my name kind of like it wasn't like a big focus. Like people would ask and we'd be like, yeah, it's the name of the band, whatever. Um, and then I think once once we got more comfortable with it, we were like once the other guys in the band became more comfortable with it, we started saying like it's actually my name. And then once the band kind of like so like the history of the band is like the band kind of like when everyone did their own thing and
yeah.
I kept doing it on my own like as a solo thing. So it worked out that it's my name because now like I could just use it all the time.
I thought your name was Jake.
Well, yeah, Jake is a nickname for Yaakov.
Ah,
Yeah. My parents call me Jacob all the time. They don't like using Jake. But somehow, I don't know, somehow growing up, it my name evolved into Jake and that's what stuck. So like I can never change. Some people started calling me Yaakov or only call me Yaakov, but mostly it's I'm known as Jake, yeah.
ah. At what age did you start singing?
So, okay, when I was 9, I started playing drums. That was my first instrument. And I love drums. I still teach drum lessons and I still would
I like drums too. I like drums.
drums, it's like I don't know, it's inside it's like really part of like inside of everybody like they want to, everybody wants to get up and move and dance. So like drumming is like something for
Yeah,
me came like really naturally. And then also like I was when I was a kid, when I was like around the same age, 10, I was writing songs, just like writing them down in a notebook and like singing them. And eventually when I was like around 14, I got my first guitar. I started learning guitar. Um
yeah.
and then that's when I really started writing music. And my first like real performance was I think I was around 15. And I opened for Blue Fringe and or was it Blue Fringe? I think no, actually my first performance, I don't know if these guys are around anymore, was I opened for the Hamsa Boys. I don't know if they're still around. They were like a bunch they were like singers. And then after that was Blue Fringe. And I opened for Blue Fringe a few times when I was a teenager. I don't Do you know Blue Fringe?
No.
Oh, you should look them up. They're amazing. Amazing. Now, one of the guys, do you know Distant Cousins? You ever hear of Distant Cousins?
No.
So one of the lead singer from Blue Fringe, he's in a band now called Distant Cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
very
will
nice
look
guy.
them up.
His name is Dove Rosenblatt. Really, really nice guy.
Okay. Um, how many albums do you have out now?
Um, okay, so there's Rise Above, The Passage, and then I have a bunch of singles that I released over the years. Um, that aren't an album, but it's just like singles. And then I think my last thing that I did was where I took a lot of the songs or a bunch of songs from my first album and I did like an acoustic stripped down version of them. Um, so that would be like I guess three albums and a bunch of singles. Or one half album, two albums, one half album, and a bunch of singles.
What is your favorite song of all your albums?
Oh wow. That's a hard question. I think it depends. It depends on the day because like certain times, for example, like what's going on in Eretz Yisrael this year,
Yeah,
um, like there's a song called We Must Fight on the second album that I like always comes to my mind when this type of stuff happens, how we have to like stay strong and not let anybody try to, make us weak. Um,
yeah,
and also another one, Harmony is a great, like I love the words in Harmony. That was on the first album. And I redid that in the it's called the acoustic version on that. It was called YAAKOV CHESED Reimagined. So Harmony also I really like. But I really like, I don't know. I don't know. It depends. It depends on my mood. Like if I'm feeling like a slower song, then like it would be Harmony. We Must Fight is a faster song. Shema, everyone loves Shema. So like I go like I think I mean it's the one that I've played the most. Um, yeah, it's a hard question.
yeah. What do you do when you're not singing?
Um, okay, first of all, I'm a father of five kids, so that takes up a lot of my time. But I do sing to them. So um and yeah, so I also have like a bunch of jobs that I do. Right now I'm a care manager and I also run a business with my wife.
Um,
Um,
what
that's
is the business?
it's a daycare.
Oh,
So yeah, we're doing my time is really taken up by also I love go fitness. Fitness is one of my biggest things that I love. So that takes up some of my time as well.
yeah. Um, at what age did you start performing live?
So I think okay, so when I first started playing guitar, from the minute I started playing guitar when I was 14, I would go on to Central Avenue and I don't think kids do this anymore. It's so sad. I would just sit on Central Avenue and play guitar and sing. I don't know if that's considered playing live. I mean, I think so. Um, and like that really got me like ready to do concerts. And then my first live performance, I think was around 15 years old. Like I said, with the Hamsa Boys, it was in Hafter. Um, and yeah, I think that's yeah.
Who did you get inspired by to start singing?
Wow. Um, So to start singing, so I always loved to sing. So I never needed inspiration. I always loved music. Like from the time I remember my mother told me when I was a little kid, I would be sitting on the toilet singing in the bathroom to myself I wouldn't leave. I would just sit there singing. Um, but like in terms of like my influences for who like what for playing and writing, um, I think growing up, like Blue Fringe was a big one. Moshav band,
Yeah.
um, Soul Farm, uh, Shlomo Karbach, um, like all of those, and like those bands, they were like, they weren't like the Jewish singer type, they're bands, and there's back then it was like electric guitars was like a controversial thing in Jewish music, and I loved it. I loved the electric guitars. So like that really inspired my sound. And the folky thing, like even I just love guitars, like acoustic guitars and electric guitars. And so like hearing music that had that in Jewish music was something that I loved as a teenager also, like where I could go to, instead of listening to non-Jewish music to get it, I was able to listen to good Jewish music. And that was a nice inspiration.
Are you coming out with a new song or album?
So I have a bunch of songs ready to go, and it's just a matter of finding the time to finish it, the energy and the time to finish it, to put myself and to devote myself to it. Like I don't want to just I could just like release it, put it on Spotify and not really talk about it or anything, because I don't have like there's a lot, when you release music, you have to be devoted now to like social media and just like advertising, and that really I think holds me back from releasing songs. Like my people tell me, my friends and my family, they're like, just put it out. That way it's there. But I don't know. I don't feel like it does the song justice if I put it out and no one really knows about it, you know? So
Mhm.
I would like to have the ability to devote to social media in some way and advertising in order to release the songs. But you tell me, I don't know. Maybe I should just start. It's been a while. Maybe I should just put them out. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think your last video was a year ago.
Something like that. Yeah.
The acapella one.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. It was something like that. Yeah. That took see like that. It takes a lot of time, right? So like not just to record the song, but to like I didn't pay anybody to do that video. I did it all myself with not expensive video software, like whatever came on my Mac. So
Yeah.
like it took a lot of time to put it all together and to put it out. But it's out, and like there are people who enjoy it. So like I feel like that's also something that I deal with. Like if I don't do it, I'm not like there are people, even if one person is touched by a song, like I think that's priceless. And if I don't do it, it's I feel like I'm letting down Hashem in some way. I don't know if that's a good thought or a bad thought, but like yeah, if I have a gift and I'm not utilizing it to its biggest potential, like I live with a little bit of guilt about that, you know?
Yeah. Do you have any funny stories that happened to you by a show or a wedding?
Hmm. Well, being in a band, there's uh a lot of things that happen, like a lot of, because there was times where we were like touring for a long time together, and there's a lot of personalities, a lot of big personalities, and so there's we had a lot of fun. Funny stories. I don't know if this is a funny story for other people, but it's funny for me. I used to Arya Kunstler used to be in my band. We would play, and we were doing a show in, I think it was Boca, and so like one of the songs I have to like down tune my guitar. So like on the spot, like I had to like I was talking to the crowd and like trying to tune my guitar to the right thing. And for some reason it just wasn't working. It just like I just couldn't get it. I don't know what like normally it's like you just do it and you keep going. Like
Yeah,
for some reason I just couldn't get it. Like, and the longer that it took, the more awkward it was. And everyone's just like sitting there. It's like completely silent. Like
yeah,
it was the most awkward. It was the most awkward thing. So I'm like tuning and I look over at Arya and he's like, Jake, like you like what are you doing? So I'm like, okay, guys, we're just gonna skip this song and move on to the next one. Which it was funny. It was awkward. I think that's a very awkward moment, but it's something that we always talk about because it was, I guess yeah, it's also like you kind of had to be there, but it was it was good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any expiring words for the road?
Wow, putting me on the spot.
Inspiration for the road?
I think the inspiration would that's a the inspiration probably is also for myself and right each person is a world, right?
Yeah,
I think if each person is tries their best to be true to themselves, to be honest with themselves, um, and stop thinking about how others look at them and how others will see them, and they just are are themselves and they do the right thing. They know what the right thing is. Um, I think the world would be a much better place if there's a lot more honesty. And I think it starts with yourself. It starts with ourselves, being honest with
yeah.
ourselves. I think that it'll really, I think that would bring Mashiach.
That might bring Mashiach.
Yeah. Because if you know what the right thing to do is and you're not influenced or you're not scared and you're not full of whatever trauma you have, about doing the right thing, I think people would end up doing the right thing.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for letting me interview you. We will talk after. Have a great day and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.